The metaverse. What the heck is it? What are people talking about? You're hearing all this world talk around the world on the internet talking about metaverse. Is it a good opportunity to invest? Most importantly, you hear people talking about the metaverse's crypto. So in this episode, I found a very great thesis. We're going to talk about the metaverse. Exactly what is it? What is the economy behind it? All those things like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children and ladies, if you haven't done so already, y'all know what time it is. Go ahead and make sure hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit that like, comment, and share button. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children and ladies, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time, so we are going to jump straight into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do first, let's talk about this whole metaverse thing that we've been hearing across the globe, all these other good things like that, right? So we're going to talk about exactly what is the metaverse at first. Now, let me give you a little backdrop to this. What caught my eye on the metaverse, of course, I've heard about it before, seen about it, things like that. But the first thing that caught my eye when Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, came out and started talking about it, how they changed the company name from Facebook to Meta. And he kind of did a whole video that I don't want to play here. It's about 10 minutes long about what the metaverse is, how Facebook is going to get into the metaverse and things like that. And this was very intriguing because I know Facebook just reported their quarterly earnings, and Facebook has a net worth of $133 billion, according to the last quarterly assets that they reported, right? That's all their total assets minus their total liabilities, and they have $133 billion. That's the net worth of Facebook. So when a company like Facebook generates tons of money with a very low overhead, they start to think about ways to expand. So Facebook has came out and said they're going to put billions of dollars into the metaverse over the next year. This automatically took off my bells and whistles and said, "Hey, what is the metaverse?" Now, the first thing I want to get out of my way is something that I looked at cryptocurrencies and I look at metaverse. When I very first heard about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, things like that, cryptocurrencies, I said that's something that I wouldn't use. So I kind of disregarded it, right? I look at the metaverse. I heard about the metaverse. I look into it. That's something I couldn't see myself use. And you have to get out of your way, and you have to not think about yourself. So, for prime example, I probably wouldn't use the metaverse. I can't see myself using it, as I explained to you guys and girls. But my son, I have a 10-year-old son. Could I see him using it? More than likely, yes. And we're going to talk about that. So, first things first, what is the metaverse? So, the metaverse is the internet 3.0, right? So, let me share my screen here, and we're going to go to Grayscale. Grayscale is a company that I love. They were the first one. The stock symbol is GBTC. They was tracking cryptocurrencies way before the cryptocurrency ETF came out. So Grayscale they have a Ethereum one, a Bitcoin one, and they had them for the longest. And I was telling people this is a way that traditional investors who have traditional brokers like Interactive Brokers, E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, if they want to get exposure to cryptocurrencies, Grayscale was the way to do it. So Grayscale put out this great thesis that I'm going to walk through and break down the metaverse that we're going to talk about. But let me see what y'all saying in the comments. Let me bring it up. As I bring it up, I'm going to see what y'all say in the comments, and we're going to break down exactly this thesis with the metaverse. Y'all give me 1 second. That's y'all guys and girls coming in. Tell me where you're from. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. Tell all your friends and good stuff like that. Let's see what we're saying here. Who we got here? We got Young Mar 42. He said, Ohio is in the building. What's going on, Ohio? Then we got my guy, our girl, Braless Occasion. He says, yes, sir. What's going on, Braless Occasion? And we got Wiz. Philadelphia is in the building. What's going on? Philadelphia is in the building. Wiz, what's going on? So, all right. Now that we got that out of the way, let's blow this up. Let's go to the metaverse put out by what's his company name? Grayscale. So I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom. Of course, I have read this whole thesis. I'm weird like that. I sit up and I read stuff like this. So I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom because they do a very good summary at the bottom. Then we're gonna walk through it all together. So right here, here's the takeaway section. Where's that takeaway section? All right, come on, let's get to this takeaway section. Y'all give me 1 second. Here it is. Oh, no. That's Grayscale. No, it's probably one more page up. And there it is. Okay. The meta takeaway. Here it is, a definition. The metaverse is a digital universe that makes, the metaverse is a digital universe that moves beyond the internet we know today. The vision for the future state of the web has a potential to transform our social interactions, business dealings, and the internet economy at large. The metaverse is still taking shape, but Web 3.0 open virtual world crypto networks are offering a glimpse of what the future of the internet may hold. The market cap for bringing the metaverse to life may be worth over $1 trillion in annual revenue and may compete with Web 2.0 companies worth $15 trillion in market value today. This potential has attracted companies like Facebook to pivot towards the metaverse, which may serve as a catalyst for other Web 2.0 tech companies, tech giants, and investors to follow. So they're that was the summary there. So now let's take it from the top about the metaverse. Let's take it from the top. So that was a synopsis of what it is, right? So essentially what the metaverse is, this is a place, I like a synopsis they did here. We're going to go through it. Right now, we're living in a world called Web 2.0. So Web 1.0, Netscape. Web 1.0, Netscape was something that connected us online. When the internet first hit the stage, who remember that dial-up? Young kids may not remember that, but we had dial-up. The only thing internet was pretty good for back then was maybe sending an email, maybe sending a picture, maybe doing some little research. You go to the library at school, you do a little research. That was about it. It connected us online. A company may have a little website, but we didn't interact with it too much. Like we didn't bank online, but we kind of knew what things was. The internet, when it very first came out, Web 1.0 connected us online. Web 2.0, this is Facebook, aka social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all those social media sites. It connected us into an online community. For prime example, you guys and girls who follow the Investor Show and Prince Dykes for years now, we have formed a little community, right? So the people who's listening to this podcast, the people who are watching this on YouTube Live, who may be watching this on Facebook, catch a clip on Instagram, however you may digest this content or purchase books, we have created an online community. Everybody has done that by the pages you go like, the YouTube channels you subscribe to, the people you follow on Instagram, you follow this little community. For prime example, if you're someone who's big into real estate investing, you can put hashtag real estate investing on Instagram and follow everybody that's doing real estate investing on Instagram, Facebook, or the web or whatever, right? You can even Google it. And we have created an online community. That's what Web 2.0 is, better known as Facebook, who's the giant and the juggernaut in the social media phase. That's Web 2.0, right? Because now we can get on Instagram, Facebook, call people overseas, all those things like that. We have communities. Now, Web 3.0, the way they're talking about taking us to the metaverse, this is Web 3.0. This is a decentralized land. It connected us into a community on virtual world. So now this is like we're right now in Web 2.0 where you're talking to, y'all guys and girls are probably watching me live or catching a playback or listening to me while you are running, driving your car, whatever. This is Web 2.0 when you just listen to me. Now, Web 3.0 is when we put on a pair of glasses or goggles or whatever, and instead of just watching me, you're now imagine a conference room in like Zoom. Zoom is 2.0, right? Web 3.0 is imagine us all sitting at a conference table. I put on a pair of glasses and I can look to my right and see Larry. I can look to my left and see Susie. In front of me is John. To the left of me is Chris. And to the right of me is Amanda. And we're all sitting at this conference table and we're watching a video presentation. So, and we all have on goggles and we can look and it's all in 3D. So the Web 2.0 is giving you a two-dimensional look. You're watching me. That's it. That's two-dimensional. 3-dimensional is like me sitting down in front of you, like as a person, 3D world. Now that's speaking from the world of just doing what do we call it? I'm gonna get into that too. That's me speaking in the world of a virtual workplace. But imagine, for prime example, it's a comedy sketch that Dave Chappelle did. If you don't remember, go back and look at a Dave Chappelle comedy skit that he did, I think on his first season. It was called "What If the Internet Was a Place." Dave Chappelle did a great skit on what if the internet was a place, and he was walking around in the mall, and he kind of jumped into the internet. He was walking around in the mall, and you had these different stores. You had people stealing music, which they call Napster. You had people coming to grab him to go watch porn. You had him walking down the street some more. He went and did some shopping. The same thing that we're doing on the internet, imagining that in a virtual experience. For prime example, you may log in and go to college. You may while you're going to college, you may take a break on going to college and watch a movie. Then you may go to Amazon and purchase something. Then while you're walking to Amazon, you see a sign advertising a Netflix show. Same thing. So it's advertisers, but it's taking the world and taking the internet and putting us inside of it. So that's Web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. So let me see what y'all saying as we go a little bit deeper. Max B, that's my guy. Max B, we're going to go a little bit deeper into this as well. Okay, hold on. Okay, the metaverse will be cool. I can't wait for AR. What's going on, Max B? That's my guy. He's always in the building.
You going to learn today? You going to learn today?
Oh, yeah.
You going to learn today?
So the next one, Marcus Salone Sr. says, hello, brother. Indianapolis in the building. Indianapolis, what's going on, Indianapolis? Then we says, hey, Shark. He said, Maywood on the map. What's going on, Maywood? What's going on, Mark? Hey, Sharks. Next up, we got the Young. Young Mark said, the Meta ETF gained around 16%, 16 a share, $16, 16% a share. You think we should load the boat? What would you do? We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about it. So will they have one of the adults and one for kids? Ooh, yeah. Now we're going to talk about that too. We're going to get into that. Brawler Stress, he said Dave Chappelle predicted the future. It's funny. It is funny. He did. And who was that? Beth Stank? Breath Stank says Meta is a long-term hold. Okay. So now let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. So you got the internet 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. So now let's go into this great article that they wrote. I'm going to kind of break some of this stuff down. Here's the thesis. This is a meta thesis. The internet has always been about connecting people. Over the past 3 decades, internet technology has evolved, and the way we all interact with the web has evolved as well. Much has changed, but the 3 areas of online basis was Web 1.0, Web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. As we move across eras, our interactions are the mediums we use to create and expand the experience firsthand. How organized architecture connecting us to transform, how computing infrastructure we rely on mature, and how control of the web enable flow between the communities and big tech companies. So for a prime example, here is a breakdown. Now you have Web 1.0, Web 2.0, and Web 3.0. Web 1.0, how do we interact? We read it. For prime example, I remember going into the library, happened to look up something for a book report, and you read it online. That was Web 1.0. Web 2.0 is something like social media. You can read and you can also write. You can create a blog. You can write a Facebook post. You can write an Instagram post. Web 3.0 is doing all 3. You can, not all 3, but you can read, you can write, and you can own. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into real estate, NFTs, all those type of things that are tying into the metaverse. Now, let's go to the medium. You look at the medium of Web 1.0, it was static text, right? You logged onto the internet back in the day, all you saw was text. You just a bunch of stuff, a bunch of words, right? Now Web 2.0, where we live at today, is interactive content. For prime example, in Web 1.0, this show here, I would have had to write a blog and hit the enter button, and you'd probably had to read your email and check it. Now with Web 2.0, you can hear me. You can see me. You can interact with me live. So Web 2.0 is interactive. Web 3.0 is bringing along a virtual virtual economics, meaning that now you can buy, sell. For prime example, you guys and girls can log on and buy a investor show mug. Y'all can buy my books like a lot of y'all have done. You can buy my books. You can buy my mugs. You can support me and things like that. Imagine that being into a virtual world. Now people are buying real estate out of the virtual economy. People are buying merchandise, all type of things. So now it's becoming its own economy. And we're going to tie into this where we're looking at this. Organizations. So back in the day in Web 1, it was companies. You had companies like Yahoo. Now in Web 2.0, you don't have companies. You have platforms like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Web 3.0, they're looking at networks. The infrastructure for Web 1.0 is personal computers. Everybody brought a personal computer. I got my personal computer in the 10th grade, and that thing was huge, right? Compared to what we have today. So we had personal computers. That's how we got onto the internet. Now, Web 2.0, you got the cloud. For prime example, I got a Google Drive that I throw stuff in and share it with people. I watch presentations, everything like that. That's the Web 2.0, the cloud. And also we have what? We have phones. We can internet. Now we have phones. I got my iPad over there. I got my phone and I got my laptop. Now that's the ways we're interacting today. In Web 1.0, you had to have a desktop. And if you was a little very futuristic, you had a little laptop. So now you're looking at Web 3.0. What is it backed by? Blockchain cloud. So now it's decentralized. It's the blockchain cloud we're all on at the same time. Now you look at the controls. How did we control the web? Web 1.0, it was decentralized, right? Web 1.0 was decentralized. People got on, we all threw things in. Web 2.0 is centralized. For prime example, Facebook is centralized. Once you get in, you can't consume Facebook content unless you are a Facebook user, right? So everything is kind of centralized. You get into Instagram. Instagram has its own world. Facebook has its own world. So you have a lot of Snapchat has its own world, right? Web 3.0 is going back to being decentralized where we're all on a blockchain cloud. Those are the big infrastructure pieces that they're talking about there, right? So now let's break it on down. What does they got here? The meta market opportunities. Now, here's a very interesting fact that I want you guys and girls to take. Now we're going to get into the marketplace. This is going to give a great breakdown where in cryptocurrencies, I wasn't as crazy with cryptocurrencies because I applied it to myself. For prime example, I follow Warren Buffett when he said, stay in your circle of competency. You stick and do and invest in the things that you know very well. So when cryptocurrencies kind of came out and I heard about it and people are like, oh, it's going to be these digital coins that I wouldn't use that. That's the first thing that came to my head. I don't use that in my regular life, but I do have an Apple iPhone. I do have an Apple MacBook. I do have an Apple tablet, right? So now I'm 37 years old. I'm looking at things different, saying that, hey, it's not about me and what I would use. Look at the generation behind you. What about a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old? Those are the future. We're going to get older, become 50, 60, things like that. So get out of yourself and don't think about, man, I wouldn't use that. And you're 40 years old, 50, 60, nothing wrong being 30, 40, 50, 60 or whatever. But get out of yourself and look at the kids and say, is this something that the kids would do? Now we're going to break down that data here on the meta market opportunity. Let me see what y'all say in the comments. What's cracking? He said, what's cracking entertainment? What's up, fam? I appreciate all the information. What's going on? What's cracking information? What's cracking information also says, thank you. Wiz says Zoom is already old at this point with this technology. That's very true. That's very true. So let's get right here, ladies and gentlemen. So the marketplace. Now, when you look at it, it's just like NFTs right now. I don't own any NFTs. Why? Where is the NFT marketplace? Where can I go and buy NFTs? There's a ton of different websites for me to go and buy NFTs, right? But I got to go to this strange account and hopefully it does right. You don't know, whatever. But a couple months ago, Coinbase said that it's going to get into the NFT market. Now, Coinbase is the largest platform for cryptocurrencies. If it throws NFTs in there, it already has the marketplace. All it has to do is put on the proper platform. You already have people who are interested in cryptocurrency. You already have people who are buying and selling cryptocurrencies. All you got to do is throw NFTs onto it as well. So with that being said, why am I saying this? I look for people who already have the audience for this stuff and them just adding more stuff into it versus someone who's trying to start it all the way over. Like somebody can say, go to NFT.com to buy and sell NFTs versus if somebody said, hey, log on to your Coinbase that you're already using and buy NFTs. I'm going to go to the marketplace that's already developed. Hopefully that makes sense to y'all. So let's look at this. A greater and greater portion of our attention is going towards digital activities, especially for the younger generation. Today, 1/3 of our lives, 8 hours a day, is already spent watching TV, playing games, or on social media. As we spend more of our time in these digital world experiences, we also spend more of our money within these digital realms to build our social status within the online community. Here's figure number 3 that you guys and girls are watching. The U.S. average daily hours spent on selective leisure activity. Now, on average, the U.S. person spends 2.8 hours watching TV. The average is 2.8 hours. 65 and older are the ones who watch the most TV, coming in at 4.6 hours. Boomers, they spend 3.2 hours watching TV. Gen X is spending 2.4 hours watching TV. Millennials are spending 2 hours watching TV. Gen Z is spending 2.1 hours watching TV. So as you can see, the younger and younger you get, the less and less and less they're consuming TV. Older people are watching the most television. Younger people are watching less television. What are those younger people doing? Now let's go down to playing video games. The average is 0.3. You can look at it. 65 and older, they spend 0.2. I don't know if that's hours or whatever they're doing, right? Then you have 65 and older is 0.2. Boomers, 0.1. Gen X, 0.1. Millennials, 0.2. Gen Z, 0.7. Social media, as you can see as they run across the screen, is 5.0. You're seeing spending most of U.S. kids spend most of the 5 hours on social media more than anything else. So for prime example, go look at my son. He sits there with his what's that thing is called? A Nintendo Switch with all these different games on it. And he would sit there and watch that in between bouncing between Netflix or whatever. That will consume his entire day. Everywhere kids go now, they're just playing their game. Or they're on their phone. That's it. All day long, they're in their own world. My son comes into me. He has Fortnite. He asks me for whatever those bucks call. Can I get some, what you call it, bucks? Can I get some XYZ? How can I earn some more of this so I can buy this Pokemon, buy this Fortnite, whatever the case may be? So these kids are literally living in their own world already. The younger generation, when you look at the average young kid, they're living in and creating their own world. When I was a kid, we watched what came on TV. Today's kids, they get to watch whatever they want to watch. I had to get cartoons. I had to get up early on Saturday morning. Today's kids, they can watch cartoons 2:00 in the morning on Sunday if they felt like it. They can listen to the radio, not even the radio, a podcast or their music they want to listen to on demand. They live in their own world. Back when I listened to the radio, I had to catch the certain radio at a certain time to hear certain type of music versus kids today, they don't know about tuning in and trying to find what time. They can listen to whatever they want, when they want. They live in their own demand, their own created world, which we're talking about going to in Web 3.0. So now here we go here. What's the next one? So here they're talking about the virtual revenue, the growth that can change. Our lives can change, things like that. So now let's cut off that for a second here. Now, you look at kids like my son, he's 10 years old. He's an autistic child, Wesley. So what those type of kids do, not all kids, but I can say my son, for example, they like to create their own world, live in their own world, and you're just a guest or a figure in it. So people on the outside look at you, they figure something is wrong with you because who lives and creates their own world? This is what the metaverse is allowing you to do. It's allowing the internet to be a place that you actually go in and create a virtual world 3D experience to where you have your own currency. You can sit down. All of us can get in here and watch a movie. Oh, the new hot movie came out. The new I don't know, X-Men movie came out. We all can sit down in 3D and watch this movie together. Right now, how do people watch a movie together? What you gonna do? Put somebody on FaceTime and watch the movie? Probably not. But this new Metaverse, what it's going to do is saying, hey guys, we're all going to watch this movie. We're all going to sit down and watch this movie at the same exact time, right? Or, hey, I'm virtually working. So let's get into this a little bit. Let's get into, I don't want to go ramble. I got my talking points here that I want to get into it. So you look at a company like Facebook. Why is Facebook perfect? Facebook has a ton of cash that it has laying around that it makes every month, every quarter, or whatever. Facebook has billions of users. So imagine if Facebook can take its world, take its whole platform, and turn it into a virtual reality. Instead of just DMing somebody, imagine if y'all can sit down and have a 3D experience, right? So Facebook, the reason why it's good to be in that position, because it already have a bunch of people that are connected on social media via Facebook and Instagram. So it's taking you to a new virtual reality. Now, the people that are 40, 50, 60 years old, no. Take my dad. He's 75 years old. Is he big on social media? Is he going to be out there tweeting? No. But the people who are in their 20s and 30s and 40s, are they going to be on social media? Probably so. So do I see the 30, 40, 50 generation jumping into the metaverse? No. But I can see 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds and teenagers jumping into the metaverse and watching it evolve over time, right? So you take Facebook, they already have a huge platform, 1 billion of users that are connected online, that all they got to do is bring a little virtual reality to them. They can interact with each other, even a better place. They can go shopping together in the metaverse. They can go watch a movie together in the metaverse. They can buy and exchange NFTs, paintings inside of the metaverse, right? So think about it. When you're going to go to a virtual call, instead of being in a virtual call of on the phone or seeing somebody face to face, you can now sit there with them. So now the next one is games, not GameStop. I meant to say game stocks. So somebody like Roblox and Fortnite, these companies who are already halfway into the metaverse. They're halfway into the metaverse because think about it. Remember what's that game called? League of Legends, World of Warcrafts, where I used to have buddies that would sit down and spend 50 hours a day, even though it's only 24 hours. They would spend all day playing World of Warcraft or Call of Duty or Roblox or Fortnite or whatever all day long. I'm like, what are they doing? They have money that they earn. They're buying shields. They're doing this. They're doing that. So we're kind of halfway to the metaverse, whether we know it or not. So a lot of these games are very close to the metaverse. All they got to do is offer more things. So company like Roblox, and I think it's called, is it Take-Two that owns Fortnite? I can't remember who owns Fortnite, but whoever owns Fortnite, these companies are halfway into the metaverse world, whether we know it or not, because they got a bunch of users. The games are in 3D. They have their friends on there. They can play with their friends. They can interact. All they got to do is just add a little bit more to, their platform to move it into a particular metaverse. Now, on top of this, the economy side of the house, people are buying real estate inside of the metaverse. People are creating their own little worlds. They're creating their own houses. They're creating their own paintings, selling them on NFTs. People are almost like, well, you called people crazy for doing this back in the day, being in your own world, doing your own thing. Society called you crazy. Now you are someone who's perfect, right? It's kind of crazy that we're kind of moving into the world that we call people crazy, because people now can create their own world, buy real estate, sell real estate inside of the metaverse. Now, how does that really have value? I don't know. But hey, people are doing it. That's what they're looking at doing it. Now, this speaks right into our economy. For prime example, we already have an economy halfway through the metaverse. For prime example, you can log off here now and say, man, you know what? I like that guy, Prince Dykes. He's pretty cool. I heard he wrote some books. Let me head over to Amazon, or let me head over to barnesandnoble.com or whatever website, and let me support him. Let me go buy his books. Now, that's a 2D experience. Imagine a 3D experience where you're like literally walking down the street and says, oh, Amazon bookstore. Or let's say if Prince created his own store in the metaverse, you literally can walk into Prince Dykes' store and grab his Investor Show mug, grab all of his books, whatever merchandise he may have, and walk out and go across the street. So that's what the whole concept of having its own economy, having its own money, things like that. Now, what happened is the pandemic. I remember the pandemic broke out last year and has never gone away. We're going on year 2 of the pandemic. And now we got new strands and everything else like that. So when you're looking at this pandemic, what happened is it pushed what to happen. It pushed us into the virtual world. I've done so many Zoom calls that I never want to do another Zoom call. I've been on so many Zoom calls because Zoom calls, I can't touch the people. I don't know who I'm really meeting or whatever, right? So now with the metaverse is instead of jumping on a Zoom call and having a 2D experience where I can just see the person can see me. Now we can say, hey guys, let's go to lunch. And we all can get up, walk into lunch, sit down at a table and look at each other, look across the room and be in 3D and be connected through some eyeglasses or goggles or helmet or whatever you put on and sit down and talk to each other in the metaverse. Sit down and have some tea, cup, coffee, and hey guys, what y'all doing? This is what I'm doing. And I'll be in 3D. They will be in 3D. We'll be sitting down, drinking a cup of coffee or whatever the case we may do. So that's the second thing of that the pandemic has pushed us closer into the metaverse. Now let's get down to it. We're going to talk about Prince. Everybody said, hey, is a metaverse a good place to invest into money, things like that. I say this, I think the companies that will boom the most are the companies who are the backbone of the metaverse. For a prime example, Facebook is looking to partner with or buy companies out that does virtual touching. There's a lot of things. You're going to need hardware. For prime example, you might need a pair of glasses. Who's going to make those? You might need some shades. You're going to need cybersecurity. You're going to need cybersecurity companies are going to have to come in and protect all of your face and your whatever the case may be, and all type of things. So companies that are backing up meta backup stocks, I mean companies that make the metaverse work. Cybersecurity, maybe high-speed internet, maybe, I don't know, different animation builders, whatever the case may be. I don't know. But the companies that are backing up the metaverse, I think, are the best way. Now, people look into metaverse cryptos. So metaverse cryptos are pretty much a currency that's going to be traded. Now, I think things like Ethereum and blockchain technology that's going to make this stuff be able to happen to make it decentralized is very key. I believe in that. I believe in Ethereum. I believe in the blockchain technology, NFTs, but the backhand that's going to make all of this stuff work in order to turn your dollars into whatever currency that you're turning into, that you can buy NFT, then turn around and sell it, and then take that money that you made in the virtual world and spend it in the real. So y'all give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. Had a little stunt there, but I came back. So let me see what y'all saying in the comments box. What do y'all thought about my little metaverse world thing there? Let me see what y'all got in here. Let me see what y'all saying. We got Hey Stark says, if ETF Meta is so good, how come it doesn't pay a dividend? I have to look into the Meta ETF to see what's in it. What are the companies that are in it? And I will say this, Hey Stark, small companies that are startups very, very rarely pay dividends. The companies that usually pay dividends are companies like your large consumer staple stocks. So companies like small micro companies that are coming up, tech companies, they very rarely pay dividends because they need that money to continuously grow the company or project or whatever they're doing. What's Cracking Entertainment says, hey, he says, he or she, hey, can I share this live? A friend of mine was just asking me about this info yesterday. Man, of course. Go ahead and share the live. Go ahead and share that, Jim, and tell them this.
You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today.
So what's up, Jameson? Hey, man, that's my cousin, Jameson. Y'all go check out his cooking channel, man. He be hooking it up big time, man. Jameson says, Jameson presents, this is how I cook. This is how I cook. He says, hey, cuz I've got some thoughts about this metaverse. Would love to call in. Yeah, I'm not going to be taking some calls in tonight. I'm just going to be in and out. But next time we'll talk about it. But I'm definitely not going to be taking no calls tonight. But James, I definitely appreciate it. Y'all go check him out, man. You want to learn how to hook up your turkeys and hook up your chicken, the holiday season, some good recipes. Man, my cousin be throwing it down on his YouTube channel. This is how I cook. Y'all go check him out. Y'all give him, some subscribers and all of the good stuff like that. Shout out to him. Thank you for tuning in. Wiz, what's going on, Wiz? Wiz said it's a growth at this point, which could be a good thing. He said it's a growth yes, I agree. Max B, what's going on, Max B? He said, what do you think will happen with this GTF, Grand Theft Auto, and Fortnite when the metaverse comes out? I think Fortnite and Grand Theft Auto, they're going to add things and create their own metaverse. I don't think it's going to be one metaverse that's for everybody. I think it's going to be something like, when you have a jailbroke Fire Stick, or just like your phone, you go in there, it's a bunch of apps. Or like you go to Clubhouse and it's a bunch of rooms. You can just jump into a room and hang out and talk about things, right? You can jump into a room and talk about things, then jump into another room. I think that's how the metaverse is going to be. I don't think it's going to be one place. You can probably, Roblox may be a metaverse. You can be in the metaverse and go into the Roblox world, then go into this world, create your own world. That's how I think the metaverse is kind of looking like. But definitely, Fortnite and Grand Theft Auto already are halfway through the metaverse. They already got a large fan base that's already live and interacting with each other already. They just got to add a little bit more stuff to it. You can buy and sell on most of those apps anyway. Wiz says, I think they are experimenting already. It was a Pokemon Go event here in Philly 2 weeks ago. So I think they are making virtual worlds ahead of time, but we will interact with our devices. You're right. I agree with that too. And it's already kind of here. My son asks me all the time, hey, hook me up. I want to play with my cousins with Pokemon that's over in Georgia or whatever, so it's already kind of here. Wiz says, but think about it. I've seen people, like, you look at Clubhouse. I got a buddy of mine. He used to call me all the time about Clubhouse. Hey man, jump on Clubhouse, listen to Clubhouse. And people would turn on Clubhouse and just listen to each other talk for hours and hours. And that was the craziest thing. If I wasn't talking, I really didn't care to be on Clubhouse, but people would do it all day long. People would listen to stuff on, people would listen to Clubhouse all day long, just sit there and listen and talk to each other for hours, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 hours a day, all day long. That's kind of like what the metaverse is aiming to do. Imagine, instead of just listening to each other audio, imagine if they was having 3D experience with each other. Now, what does that lead to? I don't know. But hey, it is what it is. Where it says microchip stocks. I can't even say their name. I know you're talking about. Yes, I don't know how involved they are into the metaverse, but I've always heard about them being into tech and being very good too. And James has said, great breakdown, cuz. Man, I appreciate that, cuz. Thanks so much, cuz, for tuning in, man. Always good to get that family support. Always good to get that family support. Thanks for tuning in, man. Yeah. So y'all go check his channel out, man. If y'all want to learn how to cook and hook up some things, I'm subscribed over there myself. Some good stuff. I ain't gonna cook none of it, but I just like watching him cooking and be like, ooh, wow, at the end. And be like, dang, man, you don't never cook me nothing, but that's all right. So anyway, that's my breakdown, ladies and gentlemen, from start to finish. That's the thesis on the metaverse, web 1.0, 2.0, and now the web 3.0. And as I learn more about the metaverse and companies that are experimenting into the metaverse, I will come back and let you guys and girls know. But guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, I thank y'all for tuning in and watching this live and talking to me about the metaverse and the halfway metaverse in the web 2.0. Who knows? We may be talking in web 3.0 in the metaverse. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Investor Show. My name is Prince Dykes. And then until the next book, cartoon, or whatever else crazy podcast, whatever else crazy you see me do around the globe, peace, be safe. I'm out. Thank you.